What's up, YouTube? HoneyBee here. I'm with Biohazard, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat X. We're going to be taking a look back and talking about some of our experiences with the game, some things we liked, some things we didn't like, and just our overall thoughts.
Hey guys, EE here. I'm really excited to bring on this new product from one of our great sponsors on Beastcoast, Sumo Forte. And with me in the chat, I actually have a couple homies who've actually tried this product out already, the Suma tape, which is really good for their gaming needs.
And they have this transdermal mentholated CBD tape.
I've actually been really looking forward to trying this out. Dude, it does feel good.
All right, let's talk about Mix Mortal Kombat X. I mean, this game was, a lot of people really enjoyed this game. A lot of people like Mortal Kombat X, huge fans, love Mortal Kombat X. They just want to mix, they want to get in, they want to, do combos, get aggressive. This was the game for them.
Yeah.
They kind of just no zoning, they don't want to deal with that shit. Get in, mix, and win, right? And so honestly, for me,
Run in, mix.
Yeah, all that. Honestly, for me, this game was super duper stressful. I did not enjoy playing it competitively. It was fun to play like on a casual level. If I go back, it's still really fun to play casually. But I have not played another game that was this stressful to play in competition. Mainly because, like I said, everybody had mix-up. And everybody had like overhead lows that went into like full combos. You don't really see that as much in like MK11 now. You'll see certain characters are very mix-up heavy, but not as much as like Mortal Kombat X. On another note, let's talk about all the good stuff that MKX did bring us. Let's talk about the first big pop bonuses that we got. The first like pro league that we kind of got. Do you want to talk about a little bit about that, Tim?
Yeah, so for MKX, for those of you that don't know, when MK9 and Injustice were out, and I'm talking about Injustice 1, there was basically no money to play for. I know MK9 actually had some MLG, Major League Gaming pots and stuff, so actually they had some stuff to compete for. Injustice basically had nothing though. Like every time we went to a tournament for Injustice, you were basically playing, hoping to get like a couple $100 maybe if you won. There was never really any money to win. It was really just you're playing for your pride. You're playing to just prove to people that you're the best. And honestly, it was really fun. And back then, that's part of what made Injustice 1 really fun, with like character loyalty and stuff. People didn't really care so much about winning for money. They just wanted to win with their characters and stuff. But when MKX came out, it was the beginning of pots, beginning of actually getting money. And this was 2015, right, when the game came out, and NRS decided, you know what, we're gonna do something big with Mortal Kombat X, and they put $10,000 pot bonus into Combo Breaker, first major tournament for the game, $10,000 pot bonus into CEO. Evo had a $50,000 pot bonus. So they were just going crazy when this game came out, and we were all like losing our minds because we were just like, holy crap, like we can play for a lot of money out here. Generally, like as I was saying, we were playing for like maybe a couple $100 if you win the whole thing. But now it's all of a sudden it was just like, oh man, like I can win, Evo, and there's a $50,000 pot bonus for this. I actually got third place at Evo when there was a $50,000 pot bonus, and I got like, I don't know, 10K for it. So it was a pretty big deal at the time, especially. Also, ESL, it was the beginning of ESL where they had like $60,000 prize pools at the end of like each season. I think it changed for some of the seasons, but there was 3 of them. Sonic Fox won all 3. So yeah, Sonic made a crap ton of money off of a lot of the pot bonuses and stuff that came with Mortal Kombat X. But it was a really big thing for the scene and for the FGC at large, because a lot of us, even in other games, were not used to being able to compete for this type of money. So MKX was the start of that, and you got to give props to NRS for doing that with the game, because Fortunately, they were able to still continue that into Injustice 2. MK11 got a lot of love as well with pop bonuses, and it's one of those things now that we kind of are somewhat expecting and hoping for when a new game comes out, that a pro series is going to come with it and all that type of stuff. So MKX was the start of it, and it was a great start to have a lot of money in the tournament scene to actually give a lot of players something more to compete for, right?
And also, I believe it was the first game that NRS with some of their DLC, because they had the costume for Ermac, right? That they were able to fund other tournaments and put the money towards the players, the competitive scene. So that was really awesome, and that contributed also to a reason why we got some of these nice pop bonuses.
I think they also had skins for Sub-Zero and Scorpion as well as Ermac. I think
true. Yeah, I think they did. The blue steel and yeah. But yeah, when we look back at also ESL, ESL also, at least with this season 2, they started the whole chasing the cup thing. So that was really interesting. If you guys don't know, with the whole chasing the cup, it was run by CW. Myself, HoneyBee, Pig of the Hut, Sonic Fox, and Perfect Legend were a part of it, and we got to go to Vegas, and it was just
good times.
Wildness. It was good times. Yeah, definitely
honestly,
good time.
Like the filming of all that was really fun. It was kind of cringe a lot of times, like what they wanted us to do. Like, man, there was times when they're just like, "Yo, HoneyBee, just say I'm HoneyBee, buzz," and I was just like, I'm not really for that. Now I don't really care as much. I'll say I'm HoneyBee, buzz, but back at the time, like, it was super cringe. Like some of the stuff they wanted us to say, and like they would make us read lines, and then they're like, "All right, now say it again with more energy," or whatever, and it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. But it was fun. Like, it was really fun. They flew us out to Vegas. They made us like do a bunch of just random activities that had nothing to do with Mortal Kombat, which was just kind of fun anyways. And it was also like all came together with like the ESL finals, I think, of the season 2 of ESL. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it was
season 2. Yeah, it was season 2 of ESL.
And then that all kind of came together there, and then they even had like a 1-hour special episode on the CW network live on television, like that showcased the Mortal Kombat tournament and all that stuff. So like it was super cool to be a part of that, and everything. So that was definitely like a highlight of the Mortal Kombat X like time period for us, I think.
Yeah, and looking back at like ESL, I would say like if ESL never happened, we would have never had Pro League for Injustice 2 or MK11, the first season. But yeah, we wouldn't have had those opportunities. So MKX was really like, I guess, the pioneer for bigger things in the whole esports, FGC, NetherRealm kind of area. And yeah, I mean, let's talk about some of our like accomplishments, things that we really things that we did in MKX that we really loved, as well as some things that we wish had never happened. Definitely something I really enjoyed about Mortal Kombat X. It was the first time that we were actually like traveling worldwide, for a video game, because Injustice 1, it was pretty much anything local in Toronto at first, and then we moved on and started playing in the States. But for MKX, we did travel to Scotland, right? So that was pretty cool. It almost like, as I'm talking about how I enjoyed traveling, it was also one of my biggest disappointments as well, because I went all the way to Scotland. I don't know if you guys know about this, but I played Fair Tour for a whole year, up until this point in Scotland, where I believe I got 9th, or did I get 7th?
I think you got 7th.
I think I got 7th, yeah.
Sure,
and then I lost to Tekken Master, and he was like shin-knocking me with a terrible matchup. And yeah, it was a pretty low point, because that's just a terrible matchup, and I don't know what I was doing out there. Flew all the way to Scotland to get a result I wasn't looking for. I mean, other than that, there was a lot of stuff. Evo getting some 9ths. A couple. I don't know. Did I
Oh,
get a couple?
man.
I got 1/9 in yeah MKX for sure.
For sure, for sure.
Blah. It was,
I think that was the second Evo, right?
The
I think the
second
second
Evo.
Evo you got 9th, and I think the first Evo, I think you kind of got washed like somewhere.
Yeah, no, the first, no, okay, yeah. Speaking about that as well, like I struggled in MKX, and you know, a lot of people, you know, that played MK9 competitively, they were like, okay, you know, with MKX, you know, it might be the same game, so you know, get into MK9 and try MK9, it'll help you out, but it really didn't help you out. MKX and Mortal Kombat in general is not a legacy game, so that stuff didn't help out, and it was definitely a struggle. Just to start off, placements not the greatest, but you had great placements at the beginning of the game. Let's talk about your placements. How'd you do?
You know, I had some good stuff like Toryukin. When the game first came out, there was a tournament in Toronto called Toryukin. A lot of people from the States came over. One of the bigger names was Rio, who was kind of expected to win the tournament. I think he was also like a tester for the game, or if he wasn't, Pim Pim Jim was, and I know he was there too. Yeah, PPJ. So we had some people come from the States and whatever, and this was like the first big tournament in Toronto, Canada, and I ended up going all Devora for it, and I remember like I had Rio like in my path for top 8, and I was already thinking like I'm screwed. Like I don't even think I can make top 8. Like I got Rio over here, but then I ended up beating Rio to make top 8, and then in top 8, like I won like my matches and whatever, and then I ended up playing Pim Pim Jim, beat him in grand finals in the Devora mirror match.
Mirror?
It was a
Oh,
Devora
that
mirror
weird.
match, yeah. And I ended up beating him, and like it was a pretty big moment for me because like I was able to defend Canada in front of like everyone. I got my first like pretty big win, and at the time it's like I even went on like Test Your Might at the time, testyourmight.com. Everyone's like, yo, HoneyBee won, like blah blah blah. And at the time as well, there was a lot of hate going towards Flash players in Injustice, and people were like, if you play Flash in Injustice, you're not going to do shit because you don't really know what you're doing in the game. You're not actually good, but I ended up actually like doing pretty good in MKX. So that was like a big thing for me, winning Toryukin. I got like top
Evo
8
top
at
three.
CEO. I got 3rd place at Evo in the first year. So I had like a lot of good placements pretty quick. And to top it off, which was kind of cool, was like no one else was using Devora. Like no one else was doing anything with that character in tournament. But she was good. Like she was very, very strong. Like the only thing that was really holding her back was a lack of a good armor option. That was like another big thing about MKX, was like a lot of characters had these armor options that like either like just get you out of something or whatever. Devora's armor option was like poop. But outside of that, she had great pressure, she had great mix-ups, like she had good damage, she had good setups. Like Devora in MKX was awesome before they nerfed her in the final patch. But I had a lot of fun with her like during that life of the game. And yeah, and like going back to like the whole hype spotting Scotland tournament, like we ended up going to that. I actually did pretty well there, and I got 2nd at that tournament, losing to Foxy, who ended up winning it. But yeah, like it was a good tournament, and like I had a lot of good memories, honestly, from competing in Mortal Kombat X and everything. I enjoyed it a lot, but I think as new characters came out and as the meta evolved and stuff, it just felt harder and harder to win with Devora because she essentially, in my mind, lost to all the top tiers. And then in the final patch, they ended up nerfing her to the ground, and then I kind of just was like, yeah, I'm kind of done here. But I enjoyed it, like as the game was like hot and everyone competing in it and stuff. Like I had a lot of good moments playing that game, and it definitely solidified just like my connectedness with Devora as a character, and is a huge reason why I decided to continue maining her in MK11, and I'll continue maining her in any other future games that she's in. So you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, similar to your whole thing with Devora, you know, I was like one of the only Ferritor players out there that was like doing stuff with Ferritor. Maybe not in the first year as much, you know, like I said, it's a struggle. But you know, they patched the game a lot. They helped out these characters quite a bit. And then, in year 2, I was actually getting like some pretty good placements. Top 5 at ESL, also not what you want because top 4 is where the money was at.
Yeah, that
So
hurt.
that one hurt. There's a lot of stuff that hurt, but at least I got like a top 8 at Kumite, which was also one of the biggest tournaments. At the time in Scar, coming out with the Sonya pick was just.
I was the first person. I was the first person that got bodied by Scar's demo Sonya, like in a major tournament. No one knew what to expect from that character, and I think I was up 2-0, and then he like reverse 3-0'd me or something with this demo Sonya that I had no idea what was going on. I think I was up 2-0 in his Kung Lao or something. He switched to demo Sonya and then I just died. I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. I
remember watching. Scar went in that tournament. It was insane.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of interesting little like rivalries and stuff that went on with the competitive scene. I feel
you had the infamous match with Sonic and PL.
The Sonic and PL match that we don't really need to talk about because
we don't even need to say more about it. But like honestly, there was a lot of great moments that happened with MKX, and like looking back at it, like it was amazing. Even like when they had the Wound Cowboy versus Forever King.
Yeah, that was good too.
Thing at Yomi, like that was a great first to 10 set. Ended up being 9-9 last hit, whatever. Forever King ended up winning. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right? No, Cowboy won. And Forever King had to be like
Burger King for a while,
for a year or something like that. Yeah, so Cowboy. Don't want to get that wrong.
Definitely some good memories with MKX. And even after the game had been finished and Injustice 2 had come out, even with MK11 coming out, sometimes it's still some support for MKX with tournaments like Viennality that just love Mortal Kombat, and so there it kind of exceeded its expiry date, I guess, with being able to be shown at other tournaments as well. But yeah, people love Mortal Kombat. I know Brazil loved Mortal Kombat X. Can't get enough of that game.
And like the thing is, I do think Mortal Kombat X, like from a casual's perspective, I think it's a really fun game to watch. Like you get to see like people just in each other's face doing like hype combos, long combos, just doing all this like cool stuff, sometimes like pressure and whatever. And the game could be very entertaining to watch at a casual level and whatever. I think it's just competing in it can just be different. Like it's different. You don't really enjoy it as much when you're taking it super seriously. It's a little bit more fun game to play when you're kind of just wanting to have fun with it.
But I would agree with that, with the crazy combos you could do in that game, brutalities, the X-ray, everything kind of looked like it was a little bit more polished in certain aspects than MK11. When it comes to like these little things, that especially the brutalities, they just looked a little bit cleaner, looked a little bit more like gory, and some of them were really nice, as well as the roster was great. Like they put in a lot of interesting DLC characters. You had Leatherface in a fighting game. You had Predator, you had Alien, Jason Voorhees. So definitely some interesting characters, and they did them all really well as well.
Yeah, the roster was great. It was also the first time they ever did variations in an NRS game, and overall it was pretty good because there was 3 variations to work with from when the game came out. The only thing is, like, a lot of times there would generally be like a useless variation, maybe 2 useless variations, and then just one that everyone would tend to use. But yeah, and then back then, like the devs, they were also like doing lots of patches and stuff. They would update the game pretty quickly and pretty like meaningfully. There would be pretty big changes happening to like a couple different characters and stuff, and like part of me kind of misses that because I feel like we haven't had enough of that, and that was one of the gripes with MK11, is that kind of felt like they didn't do enough like big patches for the game. So hopefully they can get back to that and do more type of big patches and just shake things up a little bit more.
True.
For
I
future
mean,
games.
they don't have to do it like MKX. They kind of like they overdid patches in that game.
Yeah.
They were patching the game so much that people that were outside the community ended up quitting the game because it was basically a brand new game for them, and it was
Yeah.
just way too difficult.
Well, see,
to
that
juggle.
was the whole thing. That like people would complain that they were doing too much patches, and then like I think that's when Injustice 2 came out, and they were like, all right, we're not gonna patch anything for a
Yeah.
while, and then now it's like people are complaining the other way. So
Yeah,
it's like, you
like
gotta
they need to
that
find
balance.
they need to find that sweet spot.
Yeah, you gotta
That's
find
what
the
we're
sweet
seeing.
spot. You gotta
Oh,
find
yeah.
the balance of like what's enough patches that's making meaningful changes and such. Because lately it's like a little bit too much of just things that doesn't really change much of anything. So yeah, you kind of have to balance that. But honestly, MKX, fun times. Fun times.
Can't complain.
A lot of good times
Fun
with
times.
with that game, and you know maybe we should talk about Injustice next. Injustice 1. Look back, maybe. I don't know.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed our little conversation about what we enjoyed and didn't enjoy about MKX. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.